Football's been a part of my life as long as I can remember. It's been my motivator to get me up every day to get better. Really, it's my main source of happiness. So what happens when it's all taken away? Injury, it was just a normal spring practice. We was out there, we was doing one-on-ones, and I ran a fade. It was a back shoulder fade, a ball me and my QB had been throwing all spring, and I planted off my left leg, and right when I jumped, I felt it pop. If I can't walk, how can I run? And if I can't run, how can I play ball? So that's just, that all correlates with each other. I'd say the hardest part is probably you never really know how much you use your legs until you can't, get up, go to the bathroom, get anything to eat. Just kind of bedridden for a long time. It's that mental aspect of not really knowing what's next and wondering about how it'll be whenever it's done, or if I'll ever be, what I was before the injury, It's got to get better at some point. That's what I kept telling myself. It's got to get better at some point. But about 3 days after the surgery, once all the heavy medicine they gave me wore off, I stayed up all night in the bed because I couldn't lay down. And I remember I broke down crying because I said, I don't know how I'll ever play football again. I can't, lay down and go to bed without having that excruciating pain that I was feeling. Knowing that I got people relying on me, I got people that have been with me as long as I've been playing football. They were there when the injury happened. I got to do this not only for me, but for the people around me because, some people may look up to me back in my hometown. So I just got to show them that, this ain't nothing but a minor setback. Growing up, football has always been a part of my life. It was one of the first things that I really started having a real passion for. I used to always watch the games with my papa, the college football games. And I always knew that was something that I wanted to do when I grow up. In high school, man, against our rival, we for a team that we had beat so many times, we still weren't favorites going into the game, and a play needed to be made at the end of the game, and I made the play, and that's just something that I look back on whenever I'm feeling down about myself. I know, what I can do when the moment comes up and brings itself. Biotest, it's a test that can clear you to get back to normal activity post ACL surgery, and they tie a little thing around my ankle, and I have to push out as much force as I can on the good leg and the surgical leg, and ultimately they measured in pounds, and the surgical leg has to match up to the non-surgical leg to a certain point for them to clear you, and that's a test that not very many people pass on their first attempt. So for me to have not taken, it was only 4 months, but I took it, and I passed it. So that's just something I can look forward to, and that's something that can, give me a boost, a morale boost. So there's going to be days where you don't think it's going to get better. There's going to be days where it's looking like it'll never get better, but the people you surround yourself around, and just make sure you got a good relationship with God too. That'll be the big thing that puts you on that next step, because like I said, it's a tough mental battle, and you got to have stuff to lay back on and put your other energy into, so it ain't all negative. And now that I've passed that bio test, there's nothing I can do but get stronger.